Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Clue Crew podcast. My name is Katie, and I am here once again with my friends Allison
Hey.
and Maddie.
Hello.
And our special guest for this week is Knockout Queen of the Underworld, or you guys might know her as Becca.
Hey, y'all.
Perfect for Shadow Ranch Week. We love it.
Also distinction, not just Becca, but Queen Becca, okay?
True.
Yeah, you might want to bow down.
Queen Becca is in the chat. So yeah, as I said before, it's Shadow Ranch Week. It's the last game in this series. I'm kind of freaked out by that, but
shed one single tear and press F for the chat.
Wow, I know, right?
I can't believe
insane.
I still don't know what the heck that means. Y'all are laughing, but sorry.
Fine, keep your
no
secrets.
elaboration.
Okay, this is great. This is a great last podcast. I'm so happy already.
If we're gonna go off the rails, Becca, it's just from a video game, and you can press F to pay respects.
But that doesn't.
You press the button F.
For if someone died. So you'll go to the casket, you press F for paying respects. So.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thanks.
This is quality content. Exactly what you expect for a Shadow Ranch podcast.
Explaining internet culture.
Yeah.
I know, right? Off to a swinging start to match that lovely peppy swing music that plays around Shadow Ranch. How did you like my segue?
Don't say swing. Makes me think of other things. Sorry.
You're fine. So Secret of Shadow Ranch is the last game that we're covering on the podcast for right now, at least. And it is a very iconic game for the series.
Oh, yes. Indeed.
Absolutely.
This is my favorite game, so
Same.
I was very much looking forward to this day, and I was very upset that it was the last one, but maybe it's a good thing. When I first saw the list that came out, I was like, what the heck? It's the last one. I had to wait all this time, but it's all good. Best for last.
Worth the wait.
Mm-hmm. So what are your guys' thoughts on where this stacks up?
Definitely, probably in my top 2 at least.
Mm-hmm.
That one and Train.
Train's so good.
Yes.
They're kind of old school, but they're not super old. They're kind of in the middle, I would say. Mm-hmm. So I love a lot of the bigger screen. You can move around, and I kind of dig the stupid weird font they have. It's kind of nostalgic for me, and I'm weird about fonts, for the competitions. But I dig it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this one's not super one of my favorites. I don't dislike it. I think there's a lot of really great parts about it, but it's also just not one of my favorites. It's not my favorite vibe. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just because I feel like it's a game that you gotta kind of live in for a long period of time, and that's what's so great about it. It's just experience the atmosphere and the old-timey story. But it's not my favorite for quick game playthrough itself, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I don't necessarily enjoy the act of playing through it to play through it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's definitely really nostalgic for me. I remember I was, God, how old was I? Maybe 5 or 6. I would watch my mom play this game, and I just have this very, very strong memory of the horse barrels. And my mom kept trying. She couldn't get it. And then I did it in one try, and I was like, wow, I was meant to do this.
I love it. I love that horse barrel thing. It's really fun for some reason, in my opinion. Yeah, I've been a little nervous for this week since the beginning because I have some hot takes on this game that people aren't gonna like. Again, I'm with Maddie. I don't dislike this game. I think there are really solid elements to it. but it barely squeaks out of my bottom 10 personally.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, it's just it's not. I'm not really a horse girl. I'm not into the ranch vibes, so I already don't have that going for me. Of course, that's a personal preference. Like, I completely understand that. But then there are other things about the game itself that kind of bug me that I'll probably talk about later. But I'm not going to start out.
Yeah,
going on
Katie, I
rants.
think we might be on the same track a little bit. But it's okay, we'll balance each other out this week.
Exactly. We have 2 who are not a fan and 2 who are super fans, so it's all good.
Perfect. It is balanced, as all things should be.
Amen. I'm here for it. But yeah, I saw that 3 of us made a note about the arrowheads.
Oh
So
my
we might as well
God.
start there.
Oh my god. Sorry.
So when this game first came out, so back in the day, it used to be tradition for my older sister, my mom, and me to all play together. And you weren't allowed to play without the other because, like, that would just be blasphemy. And so we were playing it, and we got to the arrowhead part, and we looked literally everywhere. We were stuck on it for 3 to 4 days, and we would be on for hours just looking for this stupid arrowhead. And I remember, like, us getting to the point where we were about to just, like, throw in the towel, and then finally my mom was the one that found it. She broke the cardinal rule and stayed up way too late and started playing it, and then she found it, and then she didn't save it, but then she knew where it was. So the next day when we played it, she's like, let's look right here. Oh, wow, I found it. That's so weird. So we all knew. And then when we went to go to Mariazi's house or store, and she was like, oh, it looks like I only need 9. I remember all of us just, like, immediately had deadpan face. And my mom was like, you what? And of course, we're little, so she could not cuss in front of us because we're little kids at this point. So you could just see that she was steaming. And then I thought, you know what? It probably will come in handy later. That's the only logical reason as to why they would do that. And it does not.
Yes.
Pissed. Absolutely pissed.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Which arrowhead couldn't you find?
I honestly don't even remember. I feel like it was the one by the rattlesnake, but all I know is it took forever. But I'm pretty confident that's the one that, like, the one that's by the rattlesnake is the one that we were, or maybe it's not the rattlesnake.
Scorpion?
The scorpion. Thank you. Rattlesnake is later, but the scorpion boy.
So, question: can you, like, give her just the 9 if you don't have all 10 in your inventory?
I don't
No.
think you can.
Allison's like, no, you can't. No,
I remember with the arrowheads, I thought that the blue one you got in the pump house was just the prettiest thing ever.
Aw.
And so I assumed, for some reason, that if I collected all the other 9 first, then maybe I get to keep the blue one. I was very wrong and very sad every time.
Aw.
Yeah, she didn't even let you pick it. She's like, here, have this ugly one. I don't want it.
Right.
That's why
She
you
didn't
get
want
it.
Yeah.
No one's going to buy this. This is ugly. Here you go.
It's so funny because the only comment that I had to make on the arrowheads was that last one, and, like, why? What is the freaking point? It's like,
I don't know.
Oh
It
my
makes
God.
me so mad.
I'm sure there was a point at
Like,
some point in the game development process.
that's what I'm saying. Did they have something planned for it originally, but they took it out of the game? Because if so, they should have taken out the bit where she gives you the arrowhead. Like,
Right.
Maybe
So that's
you were
what
going to stab Shorty with it.
Maybe that's a hidden option when we just haven't figured it out yet.
True.
Yeah.
You know, I've always
Jacket.
wondered that, though, because, like, that's not the only thing that I felt was taken, like, something that felt like it was taken out of the story. Because also you have that phone call from Ed and Bet where they're like, oh, be careful with the rainstorms. The flash flooding is a big deal. And I remember being, like, genuinely scared about that because in the book, I'm pretty sure there was, like, a part in, like, one of the chapters where there was flash flooding and they're, like, all on horses and they're like, oh, we're going to get back to the ranch. So I had a feeling that it was going to be the same situation. Nope. Nothing.
Maybe they were just
Yes.
trying to make references to the book.
Oh, could be.
That's
They were
certainly
like, oh, they're
possible.
gonna really appreciate this, and we're all just out here real confused. Like,
Yeah, if
Yeah.
it was a reference, it was a poorly executed reference.
Mhm.
That or Glue Crew was just, they were like, we got a deadline, and they're like, just hit the submit button, no one will notice. And here we are years later.
That one kind of annoys me more than the arrowhead, I feel like.
Yeah.
Because that one is more like you said, it really genuinely kind of freaks you out, and yet there's
Mhm.
no payoff for it.
That one didn't freak me out as much because I just took it as like another reason of like you can't be out on your horse for a long time, which I get so paranoid about. I feel like I go to 2 places and I'm like, gotta go back to the ranch because otherwise I'm gonna get booted off.
Gonna bring
Honestly-
Bob back all hot and sweaty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that could have been cool, though. Like, it could have been cool to have some kind of story beat where if we stay out too late and it starts raining, that Tex, like, that's another second chance. It kicks
Yes.
us off.
I would have liked that a lot.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me like in Ghost Dogs with like how we discussed, like, it always felt like there would be another, dog attack if we had to stay out too long. That one makes more sense. I feel like because like technical issues that might be too difficult, but I don't know. Maybe the rain thing would have been too difficult to render too.
I mean, you
Rain
could have
is
just
not
played like
difficult to render.
thunderstorm sounds.
True.
Too. Like you don't even need, and then Nancy could just go, uh-oh.
True. Very true.
And then do.
Okay, can I just come out and say something that really pisses me off about this game?
Yes.
Sure.
Please.
There's no Easter eggs.
I'm
And
not
that
an
makes
Easter egg person.
So mad.
I'm not either. I never
Me
noticed.
either. Although I could have sworn I read in a walkthrough that there was one.
Really? I've been looking for years.
I think
Maybe I'll
most of they didn't start doing the Easter eggs until later in the series, right?
I don't know. I
I
thought
don't know.
otherwise, but because I know Carousel has the one.
Oh yeah, that one that Austin told us about on the How
Yeah.
to Carousel podcast.
Oh,
That's
right. I
true.
forgot about that.
But I feel like they were more like occasional in the older games, whereas in the newer ones it was like multiple per game.
Yeah.
And then you could do all of them and get a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm thinking that there wasn't one in my walkthrough. I just saw the word egg so many times in reference to picking the eggs. Or not picking the eggs, but collecting them.
Oh my god, listen. Okay, wait, first I want to tell you guys about the glitchy sequence of events that I witnessed when I played on this last.
Please do.
Spill the tea.
I was like, what the heck? So, one thing that I heavily resent is the fact that the game doesn't, like, they force you to leave the chicken coop and come back in order to get the eggs from the crazy chicken. And you guys know how I am about my pristine timeline. I don't like having to randomly walk away and walk right back. Anyway, so I was just...
Katie, I felt that.
It drives me insane. But so I was like, well, I can at least cut down on one trip if I just go ahead and repair the basket before I start clicking on the eggs. So I did.
No. What?
I did. I clicked on the basket and they let me sew the basket up. And so I did that before I ever clicked on an egg. And I was like, awesome, sweet. But so then I get to the eggs and I click on them and the same cutscene happens where they fall out of the basket that I already repaired. And then Nancy's like, oh no, I need to fix it. And then it takes me back to the puzzle screen, but the puzzle's already completed. And then it just immediately boots me back out to the screen where the basket is repaired.
What? Huh.
I was like, screw you, game. Oh, it was so strange. It was so strange.
I'm really angry because my glitchy event that happened this time around, Katie, it was that Tex kicked me out off the farm for, what did I do? Oh, I didn't take my saddle off when I left. And I got kicked off the ranch. And not only did I get kicked off the ranch, it loaded my game when I clicked second chance, where I had not done any of the things I had done previously, like out and about in the city.
What?
Reset all my puzzle pieces. So I had finished the petroglyph puzzle. And so I kept trying to go to the piano, but you can't click the piano thing until you finish the petroglyph puzzle. But it had reset my puzzle.
Oh
when
my
I loaded
god.
That's
It
wild.
made me so angry. I was trying, like, I kept opening these walkthroughs. I was like, what am I missing? I've done all these things. And then finally I just happened to, like, double check the petroglyph puzzle page to see if Nancy needed to, like, say something about it. And I was like, wait, what? And I realized what had happened. I was so angry.
I am so sorry, Maddie.
Oh, it's okay.
The saddle thing is another one of the petty issues I have with this game.
Yes.
It boils down for me.
There are
to
too many clicks.
repetitive actions.
Yes, so much
yeah.
clicking.
Many repetitive actions in this game. Exactly. There's so much clicking. Like, you can't, oh my god, I can't tell you the times that, like, I'll be out and about, right? And I needed to get, like, the ring from Dave or whatever. But so I had to go back to the ranch, just do one thing at the ranch, and then immediately go back out. But
yes.
you have to take the saddle up, put it away, and it's just such a pain, like, every
part of
single
it
time.
Is the inventory design too, which, like, you have to
Yes.
click out
Oh,
of
I
inventory
hate
with
that.
X, and it's just so not convenient. Like, there are too many clicks for you to have, like, this setup.
Yes, and now, to be fair, a couple different games in this era had the same problem. I think this was all the way through, like, Old Clock at least, where you had to manually close the inventory window each time. So that sucks, but
It just feels so much worse on this game because of the collecting the saddle, putting it in your inventory, clicking out, going
Correct.
to your horse, taking it out, closing the inventory. Like, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's something that has always bothered me too.
Yeah. Anyway, before we went on this tangent, Becca, what were you going to talk about?
Oh, there is something I wanted to bring up. So, you know the Daisy Stitch, Francis's
Oh,
shawl?
yeah.
I'm like, I don't remember. Is that knit or crochet?
I think
God.
I think
Is it
it's
crochet?
knitting because they mention it like knitting patterns, and then they keep talking about like pearl and
Oh, I see.
Oh.
I should
the
try to
other
knit.
one.
Yes, you totally need to knit Francis's shawl. That would be amazing.
For those of you who don't know, Becca is an amazing knitter.
Yes,
I do my best.
She is selling herself short.
she is.
It's awesome.
She's a rock star.
Thank you. Contact me. Hit me up for, I don't know, pay me to do something.
For
We'll do it.
Francis Shaw.
Yeah, but it
Hey,
might
that
cost a
sounds, I
lot.
would do.
Y'all go commission Becca to knit you Francis's shawl.
Oh boy.
Do a cosplay competition.
Everybody has
sorry.
the same shawl.
That's where it comes from. The acronym.
Oh,
Oh.
That did not.
That did not register because I always pronounce it as like "sha," and then
Oh.
so that did nothing blurry.
I always pronounce it as sha because it's shadow.
What?
Me too.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
not
it's shadow,
Shaw?
so it's sha.
Oh no. Rejected.
No.
I hate both of those.
You know what? Somebody else also says Shaw, and it throws me off every time. I'm literally like, what are you talking about?
Well, clearly Francis is Shaw. That's where it comes from.
I mean, obviously it's fine. Pronounce it however you want to. I'm just
No,
saying, like,
Shaw
it
is the only
confuses me so
acceptable
much
one.
when somebody doesn't pronounce it the way I do. I'm just like, wait, what?
I just like, wow, no one is understanding this.
Honestly, Katie, I like your reasoning. That makes sense.
That's why I also say walk instead of whack, because it's not academy, it's like warnings, it's walk.
I don't know. I just love to say whack. That's
Which
what
I
is
love
fair.
saying whack too.
Which is
Same.
I
fair.
especially love that like it's been memed so many times.
Yes.
It's fanon.
Yes. That one, and I love Dead too because they have like
Yes.
uses outside their acronym.
Right.
Yes.
So true.
Yes. Ugh.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about the meme that's topical
I know.
right now.
It's so great though because it's
Amazing.
dead. They're like
It's
dead
perfection.
gravy, and I'm like, which dead do you mean? Oh,
So
fun.
layered. Because even the game being a murder mystery adds to it too.
Yes.
Perfection.
And anytime someone says something funny and they tag it dead, I'm like, oh, they're laughing so hard. And then I remember and I'm like, oh, never mind.
Right.
All right. Can we talk about the voice acting a little bit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
totally.
I'm not like a connoisseur of voice actors or whatever, so I can just say what I like. I like
Mhm.
Jared Fernandez. I think he sounds hot.
Mhm.
Everybody knows that. We
Mhm.
all know it. I am not embarrassed about it, but I
What about
probably
Alejandro?
Alejandro.
Mm.
Wow. I think I just insulted a lot of people on accident.
You're fine.
Anyway, I love the narration of the written stuff. Freaking amazing. I'm obsessed with it.
It's really good.
Yeah, I feel like it really adds to the story.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that they chose to do that because it brings it to life a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Although Dirk's voice just sounds exactly like Elliot Chin, which kind of drives me insane.
Oh my god.
That ruins it.
It does! It really does. But no.
I don't like knowing that. I don't like that.
Oh
I
yeah.
did not hear
Y'all
that
always
at
talking about the
all.
voice actors and they're like, this person did this, and I'm like, oh my god, why did you tell me?
Yeah, it's really all Katie's fault. She's the one that knows.
You all must be cursed with me.
Yeah, I don't like that. No thanks. I'll return that information, please.
Refund.
I mean, why not just let it go the other direction and just think this is Dirk when you talk to Elliot?
No, it
That's
doesn't
fair.
work. It doesn't work though.
Yeah, Katie, what a double standard.
I don't. I can't unhear it now. I can't. And Dirk is like high key one of my favorite characters in the entire.
We never see his face, but I bet he's hot.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Agreed.
He lives in Arizona. That's all you can be out there.
Boo.
I mean,
Boo.
it was like 105 today, so
Thank you. Thank you, Allison.
I will validate that very easily.
There needs to be a game set in Idaho, sorry.
That would be great.
I'm good with a game set anywhere.
I know, right?
Give me another game that's
I
like the
don't know.
classic ones, not like mid.
Oh yeah.
Like that'll happen.
It's fine. We're fine.
Not salty. It's fine.
But no, I do agree though. I love the letter narration, and
Mm-hmm.
the one that gets me is Meryl Humber.
Oh my god. I
for
cry
real.
every time, not even joking.
Yes,
With
it
the
gets
little
me
teardrop?
so emo. Yes, the teardrops on the last
Yeah.
page.
Oh my gosh. And the way he says it.
It
Yeah.
kills me. You know
The-
what? Like I can't remember. Is there other games that have narration over letters? Because I can't recall any other ones.
I don't think so. I think
I
this is
don't
the
think
only
so
one.
either.
Because that was just such a delicious touch. Like it really does add to it.
Agreed. And the interesting thing about Meryl Humbers too is how you can hear his voice getting gruffer as
Mhm.
the time passes.
Mm-hmm.
And it just breaks my freaking heart. Like, I'm sorry that you you know what? I'm not gonna go into it. Meryl
Get into
Humber
it.
deserved better.
Yeah, there's no
That's all I'm
way
gonna say.
to have it be a good situation, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
whose side are you on? Either way, you can't pick a side.
Yeah, it's just so sad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Meryl Humber screwed up too, but it's like,
Yeah.
oh, come on. You, your daughter just freaking decides to be stupid and leave forever and hate you for the rest of her life. Like, that's just not right. Because you did your job. I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop now.
Yeah, I mean, he was a criminal. I don't know. It's just
It is.
It's such a sad
Right.
situation though.
is.
Because okay, so
Like, I
okay,
understand.
a confession time. I at 14 wrote a unfinished and extremely long fan fiction that I was going to make into a straight up novel, which copyright was not something I knew about.
Right. You can change the
And that
names,
was-
it's fine.
exactly.
twerk and dances.
Yeah. So I love his character because it really does seem like he genuinely believes that he's a Robin Hood type of person, and I don't really read it as him trying to skirt around it to Francis. I think he legitimately thinks that what he's doing is noble. And so when I wrote about it, because I was like, I'm going to take this and make it my own canon, it was that he had gotten involved with people that made that kind of statement, oh, this is we're really just stealing from the rich because not enough people are, we're taking and giving back to people. And so he genuinely believed what he was doing was good. And that's why Francis was like, no, you're wrong. He's not a criminal. He's doing good for the community. And her dad's like, bruh, he's a thief. So it's hard because I can see both sides of the angle.
Yes, I love that, Allison.
It's also interesting too because I think the game does a really good point of bringing up the fact that the money would have gone to the workers, but at the same time you also have to consider that their employers, being the wealthy people that they are, still could have paid their employees rather than blame it on the robbery and say I'm not gonna your money was stolen. It could have been still paid for.
Yeah, obviously.
But he's kind of getting framed for it too, which is another interesting thought.
But see, that is actually something else that I thought about on this playthrough, was the fact that, Meryl Humber says that the money was going to pay the workers. And yet Dirk is saying that, no, I only steal from people who are already rich. But the money wasn't even, I don't know.
You can read that in two different ways, in my opinion. Either A, you can read it that either Dirk was misinformed or lying, or B, you can read it that Meryl, being the sheriff, was told that, oh, this is money to pay wages for our workers,
right?
And that's that. You know what I mean? And so either way, someone's lying.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can either interpret that as the stagecoach people or Dirk, or the people that Dirk is associated with.
Or it just being a matter of he's taking from people who, yes, are rich, but they're rich because a chunk of that money is going away to workers, and so they're in reality they're not as rich as you think they are. Because the money that you're taking is really the excess money that would have been going to their employees.
So many angles and layers, man. I'm here for it.
Ambiguous.
I love it. I love all the different ways that you can think about it. But I love your version, Allison. I adopt it as canon. And,
thank you.
# release the fanfic.
Okay, but did you write it on paper, Allison, or did you write it type it up?
So, okay. Yes and no. I started writing this when I'm pretty sure I was 14. I'm pretty sure. And it was in a notebook. And it was a pink with little flowers on it, and it was glittery, and I still have it, notebook. And then I picked it up again because I got maybe 5-6 chapters in, and then I set it down for a very long time. Then I went back to it at 16, maybe 17 years old, and I started typing it on my computer. And so then I got about 5 chapters in, and then I put it down for a while. And then I went back to it at 19, maybe. Yeah, I think it was 19 when I picked it up again. And I started kind of doing rewrites. And then I remember talking to my dad about it because my dad and I love to read the same books. We'll do a little books exchange. And so he would be like, Allison, just write the book and then edit later. And I was like, no, but it sucks. And he's like, yeah, it's gonna. That's why you edit it later. And I'm like, no, but I can't get over it. The first 5 chapters suck. And he's like, no. So there's a solid, I think now there's maybe 10 chapters in total.
What?
So I'm telling you, this thing is long.
That's incredible.
And I was intending, I have a whole outline that was intending to make it to be 35 chapters, a straight up novel. Again, this is well before I knew that copyright was a thing. So that's why.
So what I'm hearing is we're releasing the fanfic with the added notes at the end, so we can see where it was going.
Yes.
Editor,
okay.
Find me.
I was literally about to say one of Becca's other skills is she's an amazing editor.
Indeed. I can be kind of intense though.
That's okay. This is a really shitty piece of fan fiction.
Oh, I've written a few of those, man.
I
Haven't
actually
we all?
thought about that like not too long ago. I was like, maybe I will release this into the ether just for funsies.
Yes, do
I
it.
would be so hyped to read it.
Me too.
It sounds amazing.
In my fanfic, also, Cappy is like straight up Dirk's uncle. I don't know
Oh.
why I decided to go that direction. You'll see why, though. I'll release the cut.
Hey,
Hey.
Yes, that sounds incredible. I have been super into period stuff lately. So yeah, that sounds right down my alley right now.
Excellent. I'll have to get out my old. Like dinosaur computer.
yes.
So, how about that Mary Ozzy? Am I right?
Am I
Yes.
right, people?
And
I love her.
OTP.
I think I stand Mary Yazzie, and you know what? She deserves to be supported. She's out here doing the most with this shop of hers. Like, it's so
She
legit.
really is.
And yet she gets like no business. Support her.
And then the fact that Tex showed her where that petrified wood was, I'm like, oh yeah, that's
But you
true love
guys-
right there.
We've been saying there's no good relationships. I think Mary Ozzy and Tex is another example of a quality, non-problematic. Again, the bar is real low.
I think we established that like in a few podcasts ago.
Oh,
I
did
think
we?
established that was the only quality relationship.
Well, we put Mary and Tex in the mostly good, but the fact that they are like being secretive about it made it questionable.
True.
But I mean, playing the game again, I think I understand why.
Yeah, it was just slowly blooming. They weren't ready to go public. It was
Right.
something between them.
Right, and because she
True,
was
'cause
also
it was
having
still
issues
new.
with the Raleighs at that point too.
Yeah.
So it was probably a little awkward.
And I mean,
Honestly-
she pretty much talks to Nancy about it.
It just
And
was
honestly,
between
like
them.
I kind of respect that because like
Mm-hmm.
they didn't want to go public with it because they didn't want anyone to have any suspicions for Tex. Like because you know Mary was wanting to buy the same piece of land and like the whole petrified wood and what have you. But like I can respect that of like both of them not wanting to paint the other in a bad light, even though
Mhm.
their relationship has nothing to do with that. It's like, well, let's make sure we wait to come forward with this information when to keep, you know, it's like they're protecting each other's reputation.
And they were
Mhm.
still happy with each other, and they were having little horsey dates too with each other.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a good ship. One of the few.
Honestly, I just stand Tex as this angry man who just loves ponies. Like, I know that that's really what he is.
Why is that statement so on brand for you, Matt?
But like
I
he
love
seems
Tex.
so angry and like creepy. But like, if you think about why he's angry and creepy, it's just because he wants the horses to be taken care of. Like, he's just a hardcore, aggressive animal horse lover.
Plus,
I
he
love
also
that.
has Nancy help out around the ranch before he lets her go riding. So at least he's trying to contribute in his own
Yeah.
way.
And he also just wants her to prove that she's responsible to ride the horses.
Right. Like, yes, because I feel like they tried to paint it as like, you know, he's being so tough on you. But it's like he should be. He should be.
He's
Like,
like,
he
"You
cares
better
about the animals.
give them some food. You better not be letting them out in the sun too long. Like, don't you dare leave their saddle on them. They don't deserve that."
And also, when she earns her lariat, I kind of respect that because he doesn't say, "Oh, if you do this thing for me, then I'll give it to you." It's more like, "Show me that you can do it, and I'll give it to you."
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just an aggressive horse boy.
You're
He
so
loves two
right.
things in this world: Mariazi and horses.
I can
Aw.
respect that.
I love
I
that
want
for
to go to
him.
their wedding.
Same.
Speaking of horses, City Slicker's Guide to Horses, best novel series in the game? Question mark.
Very informative, honestly.
Yeah, and I don't know. I loved it. I love the cover. The font could have used some work, but
I love all the books in like media you can read and can't read in this game. They're quality.
Yes.
isn't there one about like a trout or something?
Harvey somebody?
Yeah.
I feel like Harvey Harvingston.
Herring?
Harringston,
Harry
yeah.
Harvingston, yeah.
All the Harry Potter ripoffs.
Knockoff. Yeah. The Harry Potter you have at home.
Oh man.
Although one of them I can never figure out. I don't know what the list is, but like one of them I can't figure out how it's supposed to be like a pun of the other ones.
Maybe they gave up.
Do you know what it's herring what?
Harvey?
I think it's Harvey Harrington.
Okay.
We really looking this up right now, folks.
Sorry, y'all.
No, I love it. Keep going.
I think about this too often because it crosses my dash all the time, and I never can figure out what it's from. Like, or not what it's from because I know what it is, but like it doesn't ever mean anything to me, and it frustrates me to no end. No, all I'm finding are a bunch of men named Harvey.
Are they hot?
No, they're lawyers.
I mean,
If your name's Harvey,
They're not. They're like the lawyers that you see on those Winters and Yonkers and other commercials. Lawyer. Should I just I'll put a screenshot. Sorry. Okay, I can't find it. Never mind. Moving on.
Yeah, anyone named Harvey is like automatically like 65 years old.
Yeah, I just put a screenshot. This is what comes up.
Oh, man.
Wow, that's a lot of old men.
Yeah. Oh,
I found
coming
it.
in clutch. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I'll include pictures in the podcast so that y'all can follow our conversation.
Okay, so like sauciest stove, that makes sense. Title Terror doesn't make any sense to me.
That was the name of the roller coaster in Haunted Carousel.
Oh, okay. See, it's just in the context of the Harry Potter books, and the seasick orca is the one that also I'm like, because it's the border of Phoenix, Arizona is just such a quality pun that the other one's not living up to that same level of punness. Just upsets me.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, you're right. They really they balled real hard on that book, and then the rest of them, they were like, I don't know, nothing can compare to that one.
Yeah,
where's the consistency?
I also love that the border of Phoenix, Arizona is also 3 times the size of the other ones, on brand with the actual book.
And that's why they chose. They also wanted you to be like, yo, check this one out. It's pretty good.
Yeah, right.
If you're gonna see any of these, this is the one you need to look at.
Oh, that's so good.
I mean, again, yeah, that's how the actual book is. It's the longest one out of all of them. Anyway, Katie, were you gonna say something about the seasick orca?
No, I just realized that most of them were references to the last few games.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I kind of had a light bulb moment there, so that's all.
Oh, what is that the clam bake?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's what gets me. It's the first and the last one being like just straight on puns, and then the 3 middle ones are like, yeah, we got nothing.
Yeah, that's pretty good though.
Tossing squid and other rituals. Interesting.
Which is another thing that's referencing Car.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
The Capes of Wrath.
The Capes of Wrath.
Amazing.
What a classic. Oh yeah, such quality.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, is the Hurly Barley a train reference to the Hurly Whirly?
Oh, maybe the Hurly Whirly. Yeah.
Already in the works, huh?
Oh, the end is nay.
Oh my god. You know what? You gotta give it to the Raleighs for making sure that all of their books were at least a little bit on theme with the ranch.
Right.
They're like
saying that those aren't originals.
Honestly, just shout out to Her Interactive for all of their like throwaway things.
Yes.
Like, just being such quality. Like all of those little pieces, the details are always just so good.
They really
This
are.
is the sticky note on the left. That's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah.
The newspaper the first day, like the first pile, just like
Oh,
kills
yes.
me. Everything
Mhm.
on it. Like especially like the local science teacher spends day watching paint dry.
Yes.
Nightmare he's had in years. Oh.
So classic.
Okay, so I do have a bone to pick with this game.
Mhm.
And the only real bone I have to pick is their depiction of Arizona is whack.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Texas sort of accents going on.
Yeah, first of all, hi. This is an Arizona accent. Doesn't sound like Texas whatsoever. And furthermore, the like visuals in this game. Well, first of all, it's supposed to be an hour outside of Phoenix, and you know what's an hour outside of Phoenix? Phoenix.
More Phoenix.
Yeah.
They
and
mean
then
an hour outside of an hour outside of Phoenix.
Even an hour outside of Phoenix, even an hour outside of Phoenix is still pretty much Phoenix. It's just North Phoenix.
This is a different time, Allison.
But it's hilarious though with the visuals. It's like it gives you Monument Valley looking vibes, which is like on the border of Utah. And then like when you go to Mariazzi's, it looks like it's straight up like the Superstition Mountains, which is like southeastern, like way east valley of Phoenix. So it's like those don't match, not a little bit. That doesn't work. That doesn't go there. So I always thought it to be very funny because it's like, man, I really wish that this like fictionalized Arizona was real, because that's what I would like to see. Also, I would really like to be able to just ride my horse places, but
You have a
I have
horse?
a car. No, I have a car.
Oh.
I think you should start that trend, Allison. Just tell them that they're doing Arizona wrong, and just start riding a horse everywhere.
Yeah, just like look at people and be like, bro, this is not what you do. You don't ride your horse to work. Come on, get with it.
This is not what our ancestors wanted.
Pull
Be
up
like,
to
girl,
the
you were born in
museum
Indiana. Get out of here.
and just drop your reins. Be like, thanks, Bob. I know you're not going to move anywhere.
You love me too much and you respect me. I'll be gone for 10 hours. Goodbye.
We
Darn, an
love
earthquake.
Bob. We love and stand and respect Bob in this house.
Bob is the best.
He is.
Except for that meme. That meme besmirches Bob.
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh God.
Thanks for
I
bringing
wish
that
I
back
could,
to
like-
my brain.
Like, you know how in
That was such an evil laugh.
It really was. I mean, you know what? We also have Gentle Bob. We can associate
Yeah.
it with that meme.
Bob knows
instead.
you are very stressed.
Very
sorry.
true.
As soon as that meme gets referenced in my head, the previous one, Careless Whisper, just starts playing in my mind.
Right.
I kind of wish you could like pick a horse. You know, like how in
Yeah.
what's the game with Sunny June?
Medallion.
Yeah, like in Med, how you can pick a kayak
Yeah.
and they have
Oh,
different strengths
yeah.
and stuff. Like it'd be cool if you could pick one and get places faster and stuff like that.
That would be very interesting. I remember as a kid, I always wanted to ride Clyde. I thought Clyde was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to ride Ace. I thought Ace was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Katie now.
Me now. Listen, that's a CW Nancy Drew reference, listeners. So we love Ace in this house.
It's on a different meeting.
Anyway. The one thing though about Clyde that gets me is that he just straight up has no looping animation at all. Like he's just perfectly still at all times. And it's
Still
kind
boy.
of unnerving.
So much of this game is the characters go perfectly still as soon as they say their talking piece, and
Yes.
it's so funny. Like if you hesitate for just like a second, I feel like their eyes stare into your soul.
You know what? At least it's not as bad as like in Haunted Mansion, where they just give you that little parted mouth where they're just like, oh, blah 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 blah, and then their like default is like, oh.
Yes.
What gets me is Tex in this one because he freezes at different points with like his arm
Yes.
in different locations.
Yeah.
So it's like he's not mid sentence because he finishes, but like he's mid arm movement and he just stops. And I'm like, you need to be wound up some more.
Also, I need to say the stable is literally the most pixelated environment in any Nancy Drew game ever. Like, it looks so bad. The pixels are like the equivalent of freaking 50 pixels. It's just all one color block. And it is so weird.
Petition for her to go back and remaster, but not like Secrets Can Kill remaster, just like fix the art a little bit and then release it with like a special edition so we can get the phone charms in those too.
Yes, please. I would do anything. Oh my god. Just to have a remastered version of like games, 2 through 13.
That would be incredible.
I still want one like bad cutscene that's not changed. So like for this one, it definitely need to be the ghost horse. Like I need the original.
The claymation.
The claymation horse. Just like I need the original Rory, don't go.
Yes.
And the seance. My wife. Where could she be? Those are classics and can't be improved upon, and you just need to accept that but everything else.
Oh god, it's like the one post that still makes me die of laughter to this day is the one about the Stay Tuned for Danger remaster, but Rick Arlen's model is exactly like the old one.
I would die.
And everything else is like updated. I just can't.
Oh
man.
That horse though. Sorry.
What horse?
I would the white horse that comes out. The fact that I was terrified of that as a child makes me laugh hysterically now.
I love that it's just like a chill horse just doing its thing, you know?
Yeah,
it's not even like the result. It's just the fact that like that animation is so god awful and it's nothing other than a close up of a white horse. Right. And a little me was like, oh my gosh, it's ghost. Anyway.
Right. And little me this was one of the last games that I played. I think I mentioned this, but this one and Ghost Dogs were some of the last games that I ever played because I was just so convinced based on the cover art that this game was going to be terrifying. And then I played it. I was like,
jokes.
Okay, this is fine. But yeah, one thing that I do think is really, really cool and well executed with this game is kind of like the whole beginning portion where you're first starting to discover things. Like, I think it's laid out very well how, you can look around the ranch house a little bit, but then, like, you have to go to the shop and get some information about the trunk, and then you can get into the blanket thing in the corner at the ranch house, and how that is kind of the starting point for the backstory. But so, I don't know, it's something about the way that the game leads you to making that discovery that I just think is laid out in a super cool way that makes sense when you're first getting started, because it's not like the first thing that you're hit with. Like, the game kind of lets you check out the present day goings on first and talk about the rattlesnake and get to know people, but then it still introduces the historical element fairly early on after you do a couple of other relevant present day things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't get a flashback like in Cap.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, that flashback in Cap is rough.
It's so bad. I don't know.
Yeah,
I like the way this game starts.
I think it goes back to, like, this game is just such a good one to, like, live in. Like, the environment and the atmosphere of it all. And so, like, it works really well when you don't know what you're doing and you're coming in for that first time, just, like, exploring the ranch and, like, experiencing what it's like to be on this place and, like, talking to all these people and, like, exploring and wandering around and just, like, I don't know, it's so nice. Like, you're doing your little chores, going about gossiping with Shorty, who turns out to be the devil, but until then, chit-chatting it up with the cook man.
But that's the thing. I feel like you really only, quote-unquote, gossip with Shorty, like, maybe twice ever?
I noticed that this time, but little me when I played it was convinced that Shorty was my best friend. Shorty
Yeah,
is number
same.
2 on the top 10 betrayals of my Nancy Drew childhood. He was the last straw for me. Like, Joseph really terrified me, but Shorty was the one that I was like, gave me trust issues for the rest of my life. Because I was like, we are bros, we talk all the time.
Same
And then he
though.
murdered me.
See, I think it's funny because I didn't think he was creepy. I just thought he was weird. Like I did not like Shorty. I just thought he was a weirdo. And so that didn't betray me, but I remember being pissed about it, but it didn't betray me. But Joseph wrecked me. I was like, you lied to me to my face.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
agree. I think it was like I had finally regained trust again after Joseph, and this was the last straw for me. When this one happened, I was like, I learned to trust characters again, and then Shorty came out here and taught me that I could never
Yes.
be friends with people that didn't exist.
I was on the same page as you though, Maddie. Like, Joseph was definitely still more scarring for me, but I also was convinced that Shorty was my pal, and I don't know why. I think I would just, as a kid, whenever a suspect was just really friendly and talkative, I was just like, oh, cool, we're buds. They're my favorite.
I love talking to people in games when I was little. Like, if they were just gonna, like, chit-chat with me, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I got a friend, and anytime I do something, I'd be like, time to go tell my cool friend what I did.
Aww. That's so cute.
That is.
Until he murders me in the Arizona countryside.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's kind of a dampener on the friendship.
The relationship. And I think he murdered me repeatedly because I did not know what I was doing for a long time.
Which is fair. They're extremely vague about that ending.
Yeah, that part's
sequence.
You gotta think outside the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little more obvious if you happen to click on one of the rocks earlier, because you can do that. Like, you can click on a rock like halfway through the maze, and Nancy will be like, better not move that or I'll get lost. And so it's like, if you trigger that, it kind of makes more sense. But as a kid, I never did that. Like,
I just got horribly lost. I must have just not taken notes as a child, but I remember spending like days trying to navigate that rock maze.
Well, and then you have to go off the path to find all the little pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's funny because now it doesn't really seem like that big a deal. Like, everything just kind of makes us, everything just kind of makes a circle. But when I was a kid, man, it was just the most confusing thing in the world.
And I think that, too, is why it felt like I just lived in this game as a kid, because I feel like everything took me so long, and it was so difficult for me to figure anything out.
Mm-hmm. I think that's maybe where part of my attachment to Blackmore comes from, because I did that with Blackmore Manor a lot. Like, I just pulled that game up, was so confused, just hung out, walked around, looked at everything. So, yeah,
that's true.
I definitely get that. I've done that with more than just that game. I think I did it with this game, too, a little bit. But, yeah definitely a hashtag Nancy Drew game thing.
Also, speaking of that last end scene, honestly, this is on, like, it's on you, Shorty, for the fact that you fall down there.
Yeah.
Very true. Like, that was very obvious. I don't know how you didn't see that there was literally no floor on your...
I know Nancy, like, checked under the rug before she stepped on it. Like,
can you still step on it?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
How disappointing. There's something that I've been wanting to bring up.
Go for it.
And you can cut this part out, Katie, if you want. Let's talk about all the ass in this game.
This is content.
This is staying in.
Damn it. Anyway, but seriously, everybody has their butts to you.
Yeah, they really
Everybody.
do. Even Tex is like...
And he turns and... Yeah,
he's too.
Get it, Mary.
Oh my god, why is that so true?
Shorty's the one that's most uncomfortable because he still has a butt, but it's like Shorty.
He's got like a too. That's what gets me. Like, his jeans are like paled already.
Yeah. He's trying to accentuate his best asset, if you know what I mean.
His ass is very sculpted, Maddie. What's the problem here?
No, 0 out of 10.
And then Dave, I'm like, mm-hmm.
I think everyone knows that Dave has got a sculpted butt.
I'm with Alyssa. The problem
Your booty,
is
I
every
be
time
craving.
I see him, I think that he's peeing in the chicken coop.
Let the man live his dreams, okay?
It really do be looking like that though, huh?
It does.
Oh my god. I will say, I always thought that Dave was kind of overrated in the fandom, but I really appreciated him on this playthrough.
Yeah, he's all right.
He's great.
The last butt thing that I want to say is it's pretty safe to assume that the Raleighs are just making everyone just do like a crap ton of squats. They're like, if you want to work for me, it's at least 1,000 squats a day because I need a sculpted butt.
They're taking interviews for new hires, and they're like,
It's a hiring requirement. They wake up at 6 a.m. every day and do squats.
Yeah, so what's your experience? Have you been on a ranch before? Yeah.
Would
Okay,
you mind grabbing that?
You sound like a good fit. Turn around. The squats for me.
They're like, wait, what does this have to do with anything? For lifting stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But on the on the Dave front.
Butts in the mind.
On the Dave front. I was just gonna say I feel like there's not a lot to him. He's just a little simple man doing his little farm thing.
Mm-hmm.
Living his life. with the chickens.
Yeah.
Although I was a little offended by him making me with the chicken coop thing because he's like, ma'am, I'm not going to be able to take care of it because I got to ride out. But the pieces won't be here till nightfall. So you were going to be back by nightfall. That didn't compute for me.
Yeah. What?
And he's just like, fixing the chicken coop. He can't do it during the day and he asked Nancy to do it because he has to go ride out for the day. So he can't do it right now. But he tells you that the pieces aren't going to be there until nighttime.
I thought he said that he was running an errand that night to go somewhere.
No, like
something.
right then, because he leaves after that. Doesn't he?
Oh,
well, he also has to be gone so you can feed the chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then it was probably just that he was going like somewhere far and he didn't know when he would be
want
back.
to come back. That's fair.
Yeah, because they said that Dry Creek was like an hour away, and that's not even far.
Oh yeah.
That's
so if
fair.
he was going anywhere like significant, then I'm sure it would be like a full day.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Okay.
I also
you passed this one.
I'll let it slide. That's how I always kind of viewed his character. I was like, I don't feel like there's very much here other than he's just nice.
Yeah.
But I don't know. On this playthrough, I saw something a little more, I guess. With like when you catch him on the second day. That was like the very, very first thing I did on day 2 was I found him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where did you come from?
I should be asking you the same thing.
See, I'm looking for the Raleigh's treasure. No, Dirk Valentine. Dang it! I messed it up, Becca.
That's okay. If you do it again, I'll cut that one and I'll put in the.
No, it's okay. I'm not ashamed of my failures. You know.
I do. I respect that.
Thank you.
Authenticity for us.
Yes.
Wait, okay, I'm sorry. I'm on Tumblr looking up Shadow Ranch stuff, and Katie, you recently just posted this, and I had no idea, or did not register, that you could kind of hit on Tex a little bit with the Raleighs.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Yes.
Oh, wait, are you referring to the comment where you can say, so that, like, about Tex with the action? Yes!
Yeah, so this is the direct quote. So it says, Bet says, so you've seen all those cowboys, you have all those cowboys to yourself for a while. That Dave's pretty cute. And you can straight up say, Dave's okay, but Tex is a different story.
Yeah.
She's like, Dave's all right, but have you seen the ass on text though?
Oh,
I know that it's like I think they intended it to be like Dave's like okay, but like text terrifies me. But I read it. I also had that same thought.
I just like to imagine that like Nancy's really got like a Tom Selleck kind of kink, and she's like, ooh, that mustache though. That really gets me going.
Oh my god.
He's a horse boy. I'm a horse girl.
He was a horse boy. She was a horse girl.
Oh god.
more obvious. He was
Yeah.
a chump. She did Mr. A.
I love it so much.
But speaking of posts that I have made about Shadow Ranch, I
Yes.
put this post up this week, and literally nobody has interacted with it since I posted it, so I'm not sure if I made people upset, but I'm probably not going to rant too long on the podcast because I'm just going to link my actual post, but the task list in this game pisses me off.
Oh, I
It-
forgot to interact with it, Katie.
Oh.
It's such a hot mess, and this is the
Mhm.
only game that does it. And I don't understand what went so completely wrong, but oh my god, it seriously makes me so angry. Because I'm somebody who, like, especially with the older games, the older ones more so than the new ones. Like, as I play, I'm just constantly checking things off of my task list so that I can, like, stay focused. And that's why it drives me insane with this game, because there's tasks that you get too early, and so you can't check them off. And then there's some that you can't check off after you finish them, because for some reason it doesn't count that you researched the daisy stitch unless you've already fed the chickens and the horses. So, okay, whatever, that's fine. No, it's not. It really...
In defense
drove me
of
crazy.
this game, though, is I'm pretty confident that's the first time we have the task list, right?
Oh, is it?
I think so, because all the other ones like
Oh.
have been on like Nancy's laptop or computer or whatever, and they check off as you go. Like you can't interact with it.
That is true.
I'm pretty sure this is the first one where you can physically go and check things off of your list.
Yes, that is true. That is very true.
But I mean, it's still egregious. But there's a little bit of leniency there. We'll give it to you that one time.
Yes, I will give it a little bit of leniency. That's fair. I have one more rant, but I don't know.
For it.
Please go.
Go
Okay.
off.
Spill the tea.
Okay, this is my last angry rant for this game. First of all, I have heard people say that they don't care for Danger on Deception Island because the map screen takes too long. So do not turn around and tell me
Oh my
that
god.
the map screen in Deception Island is worse than the one in Shadow Ranch, because I have always said that Shadow Ranch has the longest and most obnoxious map screen in the entire series, which I stick to. And I have done my research today. I did it.
Oh,
I opened both Danger on Deception Island and Shadow Ranch, and I individually timed the trips and how much time that it takes. So for Deception Island, if you're just moving one space away, so like if you went from the lighthouse to, what is it, Katie's boat?
yeah.
It is 8 seconds. One space in Shadow Ranch is 9.5 seconds. And then the longest trip in Danger on Deception Island is 22.26 seconds long.
Is that the tunnel?
No, I'm talking about the map screen.
Oh, just for the maps. Okay.
Yes, so that's if you went from like Whale World to the lighthouse, because that's like the
Okay.
longest trip on the map.
Yes.
And so that is a little over 22 seconds. In Shadow Ranch, to only move 2 spaces is 17.5. So 2 spaces in Shadow Ranch is the same as the longest trip. Not the same. It's still like, there's like a 4-second difference there. But the longest trip in Shadow Ranch is Trail Stop to Dry Creek, or vice versa. And that is a whopping 29 seconds. 30
That's
seconds almost wasted. You're
No,
never gonna
that's
get those
fair.
seconds back. It drives me insane.
What were you gonna do with that time, Katie? What were you gonna do with that time?
And listen, the problem with it for me is that it's not even an interesting map screen. It's just the same image that flashes.
It has pretty pictures.
It's the exact same picture every time.
But
and at least in Deception Island, you get the little moving bicycle dude. I like to watch the bike move. Like, they could have at least done that. Just done, like, a little horse.
True.
Like, it would have made it a little more dynamic, is all I'm saying. It just takes so long to travel in between points.
Well, it's like when Takai starts talking, you just get up and go to the bathroom.
That's fair. That is completely fair. But it's the map screen in this game is just something that I have always had a major issue with, especially because I feel like that's another thing that's very repetitive in this game is just the amount of times you have to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth between all of the different locations. It just starts, like, I notice it because I feel like you have to do it a lot. So anyway,
yeah, that's true.
I am done. That's all. I needed to say it.
Gotta get that off your chest.
Yes, I did have to get it.
I'm glad
off.
you let it go.
Me too.
Speaking of chest,
Oh my god.
You know the chest that's under Zebra Rock?
Oh yes.
Have you guys done the cheat for that one?
What?
Yes.
What cheat?
I do the cheat every time.
I would
There's
not
a
survive that puzzle without the cheat.
Yeah, Allison, if you lift up Zebra Rock and put it down like 4 or 5 times, then it makes the bars on the puzzle disappear.
No.
Yeah.
There is no way that y'all don't know about that. Come on.
No,
My
I did
whole
not know
life,
about this.
I've been just crying silently. Oh my god.
We've just been picking up the metal pieces and dropping them 15
Literally.
I mean, you still do, to be fair, but at least you know where you're going.
Oh my god, Maddie. Sorry, I'm looking at what you sent to the
I'm
chat.
sorry.
I think I need to lay down.
She sent us the lyrics to It Was a Horse Boy.
I really just wanted to make the "How could they say nay" spelled like nay.
He was a horse
Pun.
boy. She was a girl. Can I make it any more obvious? He was a stud. She came to stay. How could they say nay?
Thank you.
He wanted her, she never tell.
Secretly, she wanted him, but all of her
friends stuck up their
Stuck
nose.
up her nose.
They had a problem
Had a
with his
problem
country
with his country
clothes.
clothes.
Oh
That's
my god.
amazing.
Thank you.
I'm a fan.
I've been trying to write them periodically since Becca referenced it. Thank you. I didn't mean to distract, but there you
No,
go.
it was well worth it.
It was good
Yes, it
distraction.
was worth it.
And then, can I say how I kind of like that you can call the sheriff and be like, hey man, can I get in here? Like, you don't have to do some stupid dumbass puzzle in order to get into Cappy's. You just call the sheriff.
I like that the sheriff is just like, yeah, man, sure, here's the code, random stranger.
I know,
Like,
she's
it's still an active crime. It's still investigated, but you know what? Whatevs.
yes, I love that so much.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, can I trespass on this open crime scene that you have under investigation right now? And he's like, sure. And she's like, awesome, thanks for all your help. And he's like, I'm just doing my job.
Are you lying?
Like, that's your job, huh? Letting teenage girls that you've never met before investigate your...
Well, wasn't it more like at that point it was locked because it was unsafe, like unstable?
Yeah, Cappy's was.
Yeah.
But the pump house is another one.
Oh, the pump house. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, kind of both, but you do
You
have a
gotta go
point
there
about
and find
Cappy's.
the blue arrow, dude.
Yeah, the blue arrow.
Oh, I hate this, sorry, image. I just saw the image of Shorty wearing apple bottom jeans.
So they got some apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur.
And I hate it. I hate it a lot.
Oh,
Sorry, okay, continue.
I like that you don't have to follow up on everything. Like with the Geo Council, you don't have to call them.
Oh, really? Oh my god, you're right. I just realized that I didn't call them on this last playthrough.
Yeah.
Wow,
That's
I
why
didn't
I
even
love
realize
a lot
that.
of the older games. I feel like a lot of the older games, there's like different like clues that you could follow up on, but you don't have to.
Wow, I can't believe that I didn't even realize that I didn't do that on this
Yeah.
playthrough until you said it.
That's another one where I'm like, wow, they're just giving you more information that they don't need to. They're like, yeah, let me pull up this particular customer's information. We'll talk about them.
Like, isn't that against your policy? Nah, I'm quitting today anyway. Doesn't matter.
Then I love that you can call Frank and Joe, of course.
Oh, yes.
Always. There's not enough
Is Ned
dialogue
in this
with them,
game?
though.
Is Ned
Sorry?
in this game?
No,
Mm-mm.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
not at all, because you got
Okay.
Dave. They can't
Yeah.
have both.
Dave
It's
and
like
the
you got to
Hardys
stay back home
and
and
Ned?
she's like-
No, somebody had to take
Too
the
much.
hit there.
When he asked her she had to stay back home, she's just swiftly deleted his number. Nope. Single is a
Not
Pringle.
anymore. And then I also noticed, so you know the secret stairs where we see Dave chilling out.
Mhm.
So there's like a book or something you can pull in the den and just go right down there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I've
And-
done that before, but it's been a
Yeah,
long
and it's
time.
like that blows my mind, or it did, when I first found out, and I'm just like, why do I never think of these things?
I know, right?
I feel like I always go the long way anyway, and I'm always like, why did I do that? It's just
Can
like
you imagine
force
Shorty
habit.
just seeing Nancy like yeet into the wall?
He's like having a conversation with her, and she's like, "This is boring." She leaves through the wall, and he's like, "Nancy."
Nancy?
Yep. Future Frank Hardy right there.
Don't. Hashtag Maddie ruins. Oh my gosh, I just called you Maddie. That's the greatest compliment I've ever given anyone. Anyway, I already forgot what I was gonna say to Katie.
That. I love you too, Maddie.
Can I get a little love here, please? Thank you.
Yes.
I
love
believe
all
we
three of
addressed you as Queen Becca at the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah, I haven't heard it since. Sorry, I'm being a bitch.
No,
You're fine.
you're good.
It's why you're a queen.
Oh yeah, the
Gotta
crowd is
demand that
heavy,
respect.
y'all. F in the chat.
We're going out on some chaotic juice.
Yeah, it's true. This is one of the most chaotic episodes.
I'm living for it.
It's great. Another thing that I thought this game did really, really well is the reveal with the phosphorus powder on your gloves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's just something that even as a kid I was like, oh, wow. And then, like, as an adult, like, it makes so much sense too.
Yes.
Like, just the way that they carefully crafted that entire thread of events is so good. Like,
Yes.
you just casually wipe down the book, you think nothing of it,
Mhm.
but then it's like, oh my god, that was the powder that they used for the horse, which you only find out about because you have to repair the wire at night,
Yes.
and you have to have your gloves on to do it. And so you wear your
Yes.
gloves, and you see that they're glowing. It's just so good. It's so well thought out. It really is.
Mhm.
I remember seeing the ranch at night and it just being so eerie. It's
Yeah.
like, get me the heck out of here.
I accidentally got the chickens killed on
Oh no.
this game.
Oh.
Because I didn't
Accidentally.
realize. I don't know why. I just figured I could look around inside the ranch house and then do the chicken coop. Like, I had already gone back for my gloves and everything, but instead of going to the wire, I was just like, I wonder what it looks like inside the ranch house at nighttime. And so that's why I walked in, and Shorty was
Oh.
standing there stirring his pot, and suddenly the chickens were getting mauled outside.
You were forcibly removed from the ranch.
Yeah.
That's like the only legitimate reason to get kicked off, to be honest. Like, Nancy,
Honest-
you screwed up and our chickens are dead.
Yeah. Agreed.
All the other reasons, I'm like, bruh, you asked a teenager to pick vegetables. Like, what were you expecting?
Right.
Honestly, all of those cutscenes, because I watched them all in a compilation video at the end, like, it's such, like, classic Southern type phrasing of everything where they're like, honey, well, I've never thought feeding the chickens was all that difficult.
It's so
That we
condescending.
can have that kind of, carelessness on your farm. And it's all just, like, very, like, subtle, what is it? What's the word? It's not petty.
Proper.
But, like, kind of biting comments that are, like,
Backhanded.
hidden. Yes, backhanded comments the whole way through.
Patronizing.
Patronizing, thank you.
I just love it because it's like, bruh, what did you expect? And also, is kicking her out really like the necessary step instead of just being like, oh, hey, that's not right. You need to pick these ones.
Could you imagine, like, you've invited some strange friend of your cousin's to your house, and you're like, okay, she's here. She has no one else in the area to stay with. We are her one home. And you're like, why don't you go enjoy yourself? Go pick you a vegetable. See where the food comes from. And she comes in, and you're like, oh, shit. That is not a ripe tomato. Never mind. Get the frick out of my house right now. Take your bags. I don't care where they're like, there's literally nowhere anything for miles. Like, they've told you can only get anywhere by horseback, and they don't care. They're just like out the front door, Nancy.
Oh, God.
Not even driving her to the airport, nothing. They're like, go walk.
Yeah. They just throw her suitcase out front, and they're like, you're out.
Man.
They still got to drive her back to the airport.
She's walking.
No, they're like, absolutely not. You've already gotten picked unripe vegetables. Absolutely not. You're taking our hands.
You're not wasting our gas money. Get out of here.
But yes, the vegetables. I still don't understand that puzzle, and I never will.
See, this is interesting because I remember being a child and I was like, how am I supposed to do this? It was like the hardest thing ever. But now as an adult, I'm like, I don't think it's hard at all. Like, I'm just not sure where the difficulty is. Like, I'm not patronizing you. I'm just genuinely
Katie would kick me off her farm.
I would not kick you off my farm.
Forcibly evict me. She has no sympathy for my inability to distinguish ripe from unripe vegetables.
Oh, no, like, I'm not meaning to condescend you because I legit remember also being confused about it. I know you're kidding, but I'm saying this for myself. like I understand, but I also don't understand, if that makes sense.
I figured it out. I figured it out. It's because that not all of the vegetables, when you go to pick them, have a mix of ripe and unripe vegetables. And so if you're like me and kind of take a lot of things literally about the beans, and they don't like show you necessarily pictures, but they just say like they kind of are varying shades of green between like underripe, perfectly ripe, and overripe, because you can't pick overripe ones either.
Yes, you can.
I got in trouble for that too, though.
The beans are the most confusing part, 100%. Like, I did have to like look it up on the phone to confirm. But so one of the beans, they're ripe when they're puffy and green. But on the first day, there's only under and overripe. But so the underripe ones are just, skinny and green, and then the overripe ones are brown and puffy. But so what I used to always do is I used to pick the overripe ones of those beans, and when I take it into Shorty, he's just like, some of these are overripe, but I'll just pitch it. And
yeah,
so
that's because
that you can get away with.
On day one, you can. And it depends also, I think, if you're a junior versus senior.
Okay. Because then on day 2, there isn't anything that's overripe because the underripe beans from day 1 are now ripe. And then the other beans are ripe when they're brown. I'm sorry. This is really confusing to talk about. I understand now.
So my confusion lies in the fact that, like you just said, in those beans, there are none that are actually ripe that first day. But little me and current me is trying to figure out, well, this one is slightly in the shade, so are those the ripe ones? And I'm always convinced that there are vegetables that are ripe out of the pile, and so I'm trying to distinguish, like, by microscopic shades of green, which one are the underripe and which ones are the actual ripe ones.
Gotcha.
Because there are slight discrepancies between them, but it's not, like, blatantly obvious to me, and I always spend a really long time trying to figure out what's what. And that's the same for some of the tomatoes and things. Like,
Gotcha.
the discrepancies aren't big enough, and so because I'm not seeing all 3 different shades clearly, I don't know what it's in what category.
I see. That makes sense.
So then I get confused, and then when the day 2 rolls around, and then I'm like, well, now I have totally different categories of things. Yeah. I'm like, now I'm just really confused.
I understand.
Can I add something?
Mm-hmm.
This is something else that's really weird to me. Maddie, do you have the like special edition of the game?
I don't think so.
What?
Because the other day, I was watching Maddie stream it, and there was a rattlesnake that got her like by the garden.
Yeah.
That has never happened to me ever.
Huh.
I'm not sure if that's happened to me either. Wait,
I've had that happen twice.
That's happened to me too.
It might be just like one of those like Blackmore Manor era weird things that just seem to occasionally pop up in your playthroughs.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. It was just so bizarre to me.
Yeah, because I think I've seen it before, but I can't even recall the last time I got it.
I had to buy the game from Her Interactive, so it's possible too that they've maybe changed it, like, and so the version I had is different from my disc version. So I don't know.
What about you, Allison?
I always got it. I've had it where I've seen the snake, and sometimes I've had it where I've not seen the snake, but it's definitely shown up on playthroughs before.
Don't you have to like click in between the two?
Yeah, but you can hear it rattling.
Mm-hmm.
That's so weird. I wonder if it has to do with like the timing of when you go to pick the vegetables.
Or if you pick so many unripe vegetables that it's a pre-warning before Shorty kicks you out of the house.
The snake is an omen. He's like, get out of the house, man.
Now you pick the vegetables that are not ripe.
It's too late for you.
Yeah, I gotta say the vegetables were never a big deal for me. Like, I know that's like one of those things that like a lot of the fandom is like super opposed to, but that and the frass are 2 things that are like, yeah, it is what it is. Like, I don't know, it just never like is one that like gives me frustration or like is too difficult. But like, there's so many puzzles that are so hard for me that it's kind of embarrassing that those 2 are the ones that are easy. Oh, you couldn't hear me?
What? No. I was just saying, I don't know. Like, I feel like it just kind of depends. Like, I think definitely I realized this playthrough that for me, it's literally just the fact that I'm convinced that there must be ripe vegetables on them.
Yeah.
And so I spend so long trying to figure out which ones are ripe, and then I just guess, and then I'm forcibly evicted from the ranch. Well, over and over and over again.
I guess something to keep in mind is that it's better to not pick enough vegetables, because if you don't have enough, then Shorty will just be like, you can find more than that. So
that's fair. Or I can just always cheat on my vegetable picking.
Also that.
Wait, how do you cheat though?
I get Becca and say, Becca, what are the correct vegetables?
I'm sorry.
No, that's literally what I did. It was great. It saved me so much time last night.
I was like, Maddie, no. Nope.
Don't touch it. Put the finger down.
I demanded to let myself pick them one time to make an effort, and I failed miserably. And then I said, that's enough for me.
Okay, as far as the actual chores, the only thing that I have an issue with is the fact, that I already talked about, how they just spawn the crazy chicken there, and so they force you to go and then leave and then come back. That annoys me. But otherwise, like, I don't have any issues with the actual chores themselves, other than the fact that the game forces you to repeat the exact same set of them every single day. And they just throw in extra things. They're like, here, make a birthday cake. Here, feed the animals in addition to your regular chores. So that's just another one of those repetitive things that I don't enjoy.
I just, again, it goes back to the number of sheer clicking that you have to do those specific set of chores. Like with the basket, leaving, checking all the chickens, like stations, leaving, checking them all again to make sure you have enough eggs. Like, it's just so much clicking.
It is, but you know what the worst part about it is for me is the fact that the chores become a literal obstacle in the game.
Yes.
Because you can't do anything until after you do the same thing that you've already done before. And it's just, I want to get on with the mystery. I want to go somewhere and, like, follow my lead, but I can't. Like, you're forcing me to do this again. So that's my problem with it.
I also have just, like, a firm bone to pick on the setting up of the campfire the first day chore, because I did not have enough kindling every single time I brought those sticks to the fireplace. And clicking my inventory to take my kindling out, and you can't put it in, you have to put the newspaper on front, and then you have to put the sticks on, and she'd be like, that's not enough, and then I have to collect everything back up, and then find another stick, and I'd be like, now I have to have enough, and I'd go through the whole process, and I never had enough. I think I literally went through the process every single time, until it was so long. 0 out of 10. But the cake baking, excellent. Absolutely astounding. Love it. Would bake so many cakes.
It's okay. I like making the cookies better in Danger by Design.
No.
Really? No, it's not the same experience.
I don't know what I do, but in Danger by Design, I consistently make the cookies wrong at least 3 to 4 times.
Me
and
too.
I swear I'm doing the same. I swear I'm doing the same thing. I have no idea why.
Because you have to add the mint first, right?
No.
Wait.
The mint, I think, is one of the last things that you add.
Yeah, but isn't there a glitch where... You know what? I've played that game like twice. Never mind. I don't know anything.
All I know is I swear I do nothing different, and it always messes up. But then again, the cake, I feel like I've screwed up a couple times, but you have guesswork in there, so it's fair. I feel like that's fair.
Well, so I don't enjoy the baking part of the cake, but I just save my game. It's like the act of, like, putting everything in the mixing bowl and, like, stirring it, and it makes those satisfying sounds.
I was about to say, the SFX is solid.
Yes.
It keeps making a crunching sound, and that compiled with the fact that Nancy doesn't break the egg, she just throws it in, and that's when the crunching starts, always makes me picture Nancy just, like, chucking the entire egg in there.
Oh,
I can so see that. Just Nancy being so straightforward and be like, 3 eggs. All right. Just throwing it in there.
It's, and, like, the crunchy noise, though, like, it's exactly how I imagine, like, if you were to throw a full eggshell in a container of batter.
But, you know, Maddie, your problem with a lot of other things in this game is that you have to click too many times, and that's why I don't like the cake. Because you have to click 7 times on the sugar. 7 times. Yeah, I'm just oh my god.
Here's what it is. It's because that's how I cook in real life, Katie, to minimize my dishes. I use, like, the 1/3 spoon cup, because I'm like, if I do it this way, I don't have to also wash the full 1 cup and the 1/3 cup.
That makes sense.
So I don't register it as abnormal. I'm just like, this is normal baking.
That's fine. That makes sense. But on a positive note, because I feel really bad, I feel like all I've said is negative stuff. I really don't dislike this game as much as it sounds like I do. Like, do y'all get that thing where, like, because everybody else's reaction is so, like, oh my god, I love this thing, like, it tends to make you a little more critical than you would be otherwise? Like, I think that's
Katie's not like other girls.
I think that's low-key my issue, too, with this game, is, like, I only criticize it so much because I feel like nobody else does.
No, I feel that.
I feel like I have other games that I do that with, where I'm like...
Right.
Me with Lie.
Me, same.
And see, that's fine. That's perfectly fair.
Don't think about it.
What was that, Becca?
Lie is really fun if you just don't think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like the Cars movie.
I agree. I actually do like Labyrinth of Lies better than Shadow Ranch because I actively choose to not think about it while I play that game.
It's fine. Rolling it off or shake it off. Walk it off, Drew.
It's because I like the actual gameplay and the aesthetic better in Lie. But again, that's just personal. But Shadow Ranch, like, for sure has personally at least, has the best backstory out of all of the games.
Oh,
Yeah.
hands
Oh,
down.
yeah.
I mean,
Not
it's
even
just-
trying to compete.
Yeah, like it is chef's kiss, truly.
Mwah.
Honestly, that's the thing I love most with this game is like the mystery part to me feels more like the B plot, and the B plot feels more like the A plot. Like I'm way more invested in Francis and Dirk. Like
Mhm.
100% of my time is invested in them. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, the Raleighs and stuff. Like that's a thing, kind of. But yeah, if I were Nancy, I wouldn't even give a crap about the Raleighs. I'd be like, dude, do you hear about this Dirk guy? We gotta find his treasure. And that would be about
Mhm.
it.
Right.
Also, I'd be
Yeah.
real pissed if Shorty was to be the one that found it, because like, you do not deserve this. Dirk was too good for you.
So good. That backstory, though. Can I please also just say that out of the series, this game, this game is one of the ones that would make the best movie.
100%.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Like, I would pay so much money for a Secret of Shadow Ranch movie. Like, can you just imagine it would intersperse the flashbacks to the Francis
It's
and
got,
Dirk story
Like
in with
Holes vibe
yes,
for like how that movie is shot. Like
I cry every time I watch that movie.
Yes.
Exactly. That's another masterpiece, but
so good.
yeah, I really, really want a Shadow Ranch movie.
Starring Rick Arlen?
Rick Garland is whom? Dirk?
I don't know.
No.
I do
He's-
picture Dirk being blonde. I will say that.
Oh, that's
Oh,
funny.
really?
I've always pictured him having like dark brown hair.
Same.
I made a post about this a long time ago. Hold on, I'm gonna find it.
So Dwayne, then.
Dwayne can be Meryl.
Dwayne, yeah. I would love to see Dwayne try to like encapsulate like the stern, stoic, gruff Meryl, and then just turn it into the most outrageous character in the entire world. Like just completely unhinged.
I would just love to see like the actors from these games like attempting to actually act out something.
Oh, Rory.
Oh, Francis. Francis.
It's so good.
Right.
On their backstory, I think the saddest part is the fact that her dad like kept that letter from her.
Yeah.
Like I think that's probably like what hurts the most out of all the like
Hurts the most.
Being so close.
and watching you forcibly be taken away.
Yeah, see, that I feel was probably Meryl Humber's biggest issue.
Yeah.
So heartbreaking.
It really is. Oh, and I also want to say, though, I do not approve of Frances's voice when she's reading the letter.
Same.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, no. My beloved
Yeah.
Dirk is no more. I just, no.
It's so nails on a chalkboard. Like, no thank you.
It's so weird. And I actually did not realize until this playthrough it hit me that that is Laurie Gerard's voice.
Oh my
Ah!
god, Katie,
Oh.
why?
It just hit me on this playthrough.
Oh my gosh.
It
would
has
totally
been
make
stricken
sense
from the canon.
from our fictional casting of this. They needed a celebrity to get attention brought to the movie.
Well, then by that, then they really needed to have Dwayne be playing like Meryl. For the voice acting for him, they should have gotten him back.
Fantastic.
Oh.
Elliot Chin as Dirk.
This is
can't.
turning into like a prison yard type theater production.
Oh my god. Okay, so then that could be another offshoot of like them putting on a show of Shadow Ranch in prison.
This is when Sunny June makes contact with Dwayne to get the monkey information. Or when Dwayne gets the monkey info from Sunny about the Ran location.
Yes.
Why is Sunny involved in the prison yard production?
Because back when we talked about Ran, I have like a headcanon that Dwayne, like the research assistant at that island, was Sunny. And I'm convinced that like Dwayne found out about this island from Sunny at some point. Like maybe Sunny was working an odd job as like a theater guy who somehow was like trying to do community outreach with a theater for a prison.
Ah.
And then he encountered Dwayne. It's all coming together, everybody.
Oh
He
my
was
God.
helping
I think that's basically canon.
Yeah. That's
The evidence
What
points directly
happened?
there.
yeah.
What part of this is anybody not understanding?
It's from there. It's a movie adaptation of Charlene's latest book.
Yes.
Wind
Like
through
went
my
through my
heart.
I can't put it down.
heart.
Okay, so Charlena Purcell was like way cooler in this game than in Blue Moon Canyon.
Oh yeah.
Agreed.
Like,
I
as
love
far as-
Charlena.
Yeah,
Profile pic versus tagged pic.
like as far as actually just being nice and helpful, you know, like she was like, what happened to her? Between...
I don't know. I feel like she's still condescending to you though about things.
She is.
Like it's just like it doesn't come across as bluntly because it's just they're briefer encounters, I feel like.
You know what it was though? It was the fact that she got invited on a train with other minor celebrities that she was like, hey, I'm hot shit, what's up?
Yeah, she was always full of herself. So there's
It would be
that.
hard not to look around and feel superior when those are your train mates.
Exactly. She was like, I'm a they're minor celebrities, but like I'm a major celebrity though.
Right.
I'm at least C-list celebrity.
Yeah.
I'm at least see
I
this.
did win that one award.
What else did you guys want to talk about?
I think that about covered it for me.
Yeah.
That's it, huh? The end of discussion for the last game in the playthrough.
So tragic.
I know, it really is.
It is.
Guys, we did it.
We did it!
We did do it.
Indeed.
Crazy. The end of an era.
It's the start of an age.
Aw.
All I gotta say is, if we did get our Nancy Drews, as I don't remember who pointed it out recently because I can't remember anything, but we would have had 43 Nancy Drew games at this point
Oh.
had it not been for the tomfoolery of Penny Milligan.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
I'm crying. I can't handle
We would
that.
literally not even be close to done. But it's fine. I'm not bitter. It's fine.
I'm just imagining what all we could have gotten
I know.
in 11 more games.
I try not to think about it. It makes me sad.
12, really, because we would have had a better version of Mid.
I'm sorry, you
Yep.
don't think Mid was this outstanding master, Katie? That
Did you
was-
see all the reviews on it?
Yeah, those
Yeah.
incredibly
Glowing.
realistic, real people.
I thought it was the best game of all time, that they were blown away by what her accomplished in 4 years.
Yeah,
they
and
were
that it was
shocked
so
by the-
lifelike.
And
so
that they
like
Such amazing character models with excellent puzzles.
So many
Right?
characters, more than any other Nancy Drew game.
so much
Solving
so much gameplay.
multiple mysteries.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Unlike this one where we had, just the one mystery of solving the horse and finding the treasure.
Yeah, there was no
Yeah,
backstory in this
lame.
one.
That's so dumb.
Yeah.
Unlike this game with only like a few characters, so dumb.
Ugh.
Only
Even
good
worse, Ghost Dogs only has 3.
Oh my god!
Well, I mean, Ran only has.
You know what? If her interactive is going to dog on any game, why wouldn't they just target that one? Like easy hit. They have to go after some solid games, and it's really it's a bad look, my dude.
Oh.
Really.
Especially
Right.
considering all the phone conversation characters that you do have in this game.
Right?
Like, there's a lot of them.
Uh-huh.
but I guess not as many T-posing protesters.
Oh my god.
Those were pivotal characters,
Why are
guys.
there protesters in a small town like this?
They're protesting the sinkhole. That's not the tour. Oh, Marty.
Anyway, did you guys want to say anything else about Shadow Ranch?
Nope.
Nope.
Apparently not.
Oh man, I want something.
Go for
Yes.
Stay beautiful.
You've yeed your last ha.
it.
I'd like to thank all of my adoring fans.
Oh man. Yes.
Oh.
Well, we will not be back next week with the next game in the series.
Y'all better reblog this with one single tear just strolling down your cheek.
Yes.
Can we get F in the chat?
Yeah, the only appropriate response to this one would be either F or 7. That's it.
Yes. Only F and 7. Just a string of reblogs. Or put it in your tags. That's fine.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you
Yes.
so much for
Thanks
being
for
here, Becca.
coming.
Really appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all too.
And here we are, end of the playthrough, and yet we still don't know how to close a podcast.
I mean, you know what? It's especially awkward this time. Like, I can't
I
say my
know.
usual stuff.
It's just on brand for us. That's
It
really what it
is.
is. We don't
It
want to
is.
go. That's really what it is.
Yeah, also that.
I know there's like that kind of weird thing where you're like trying to hang on to it for the last few minutes. Oh. Well.
Yeah.
I think
Don't
the
leave me. I
only
love you.
I think the only solution is we have to go through every single ending character goodbye sentence.
Yeah. We've already kind of started that train.
No, like right now. Let's like go through the line. No, I'm kidding. Like don't take any wooden nickels. We're like, okay, check that one on the list. So long, losers.
So long, losers.
The best exit line ever.
Stay warm. I think your phone's about to ring.
No, that's the best ending line. Honestly, if I had the balls to say that, it would be
could you
the
imagine?
best exit line. I think your phone's about to ring,
Right.
and then an 8-bit sunglasses like goes around your eyes, like falls from the sky.
You play the air horn on
Yeah.
your phone.
Well.
Well, this is sad.
It is. So we do not have any immediate plans. We'll probably be taking a small hiatus for the podcast, but we have tossed around a couple of ideas that we might be doing in the future at some point. And otherwise, if you guys do want more podcast content in the future, my submission box is open at the official Tumblr blog for the Clue Crew podcast, which I will also link in the description. So if you have any comments or suggestions, things you would like to see us come back and do later on, then please submit them there. And yeah, I'd love to hear some ideas and we'll talk about it.
Thanks for
Sounds
sticking
good.
it out, everybody.
Yes, thank you for joining us for all these weeks in a row. It's so crazy. I
I'm
can't
still
believe...
shocked that. Yeah, I'm still shocked that people actually listen to this. I feel like it's just like us recording our own phone conversation.
Yes.
Same. I feel the same way. Sometimes I'm just like, wow, there's like actually people who listen to this. Like,
I know.
It's so easy to forget. Like, oh man,
It's so
wild.
exciting.
Yes. I know, people are so sweet. I want to give a shout out to Hidden Clue. You have given me so many happy feels. Just, I love your support.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And everybody else who listens to the podcast, obviously, I love and adore and appreciate every single one of you. Yeah, wow. I'm getting emotional. Well,
It's appropriate for this game.
Yeah, it's true. This is a very emotional game. So ending on a good
Yes.
note. Ending on a very appropriate note with this one. I love you guys.
Yes, I
We
love you
heart
guys
you.
too.
And it won't be our last. Just
For sure.
just for now. We'll take a little break and come back at a later time when we have more content.
Yeah.
So goodbye for now. But thank you so much, Maddie and Allison, for sticking it out, being here with me
Of course.
for
Thank
this
you
whole
for
thing.
all the work you do behind the scenes too.
Yes, literally the biggest shout out to you.
Yes.
Oh, y'all are so sweet. And also a shout out to Abby. It's Lot Charm
Yes.
Strong. She was here for our Icicle Creek week.
Yes.
She started the playthrough. She's the reason that I started the podcast. I mean, look at this. Queen. She gave us so many weeks of content. Yes. So yeah, love you, Clue Crew. Thank you for being here. And thank you again to Becca for being here for our last week.
Yes, thank
It
you
was
for
a lot of
joining
fun.
us.
You're welcome.
And so yeah, I guess it's time to sign off, huh?
Nice.
No, Rory, don't go.
I love you.
Bye,
Alright.
Serena.
Okay.
Bye, you guys.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye,
Yeah.
guys.